Apocalypses, a show where we explore the collapse of society by playing fun tabletop role-playing games. I'm your host, Stu Masterson, and I'm joined by one frog and one toad.
I am a frog. Frogs are one of my favorite animals.
Well, don't stop there. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Frog. I play Ocean, a gentle giant who has a newfound phobia of snakes.
Because the snake buckets.
Yeah, that was weird. He didn't like that at all. Oh my God.
Hey, everyone.
Oh wait, I'll let you go, but I have to tell a frog story after you introduce yourself.
I want to hear the
introduce
frog
yourself.
story.
I'm going to tell you a frog story.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Brady. I'm also a toad, but not the warty, bumpy animal toad. I am that mushroom man from Mario who has a really high-pitched voice.
That's almost worse. I think I would prefer if you were just a little frog toad, because I love little frog toads.
Well,
Toad in Mario is kind of annoying.
you know, Stu made this bed and now we must lie in it because I play Book McCready, the sleuth who is really tired of hearing how much better everyone else knows his parents than he does.
Ooh, that does hurt, doesn't it? That's gotta hurt, doesn't it?
Did you ever ask your parents how they're feeling before they abandoned you?
No, probably not. I don't know.
It's probably not something he ever really felt this is the need to discuss.
Hi, how are you, mother?
Ribbit, ribbit,
This reminds me. We gotta go back to my frog story real quick.
Ribbit special segment frog story featuring Jacob.
Oh, baby. So when I was real little, like I'm talking real little, like 3 or 4 little, maybe 5
Inches?
Probably that long, probably around that height, but age is what I meant. When I was real little, I was at the aquarium with my family and my grandpa, and they all wanted to go see the penguins, and I wanted nothing to do with those damn penguins. I wanted to see the frogs, and so they left to go see the penguins. So I was like, I'm looking at these frogs, and I went over to the frog exhibit. And after looking at the frogs for a few minutes, I looked around and noticed there was no one around me that looked like my parents. And my grandpa had to come rescue me as I was sitting in front of the frogs crying.
That was another one of Jacob's trusted frog stories.
Wait, I have a frog story too.
Oh, yeah, lay me a frog story.
Frog stories after dark.
All right, y'all. So I was at an aquarium in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, with my first girlfriend ever in high school. I was a freshman in high school. I was with my first girlfriend ever. We were at this like aquarium, and they had an exhibit with like some tree frogs and stuff.
Okay.
And I was really enjoying the frog exhibit. And one of the frogs in the exhibit was like, it talked about how well it's camouflaged, and it was like, see if you can spot the frog. And I was like, I want to see if I can see this frog. And I spent like 5 minutes looking for this frog because I am not a neurotypical individual. And my girlfriend was like, oh my God, we are never going to find this frog. Let's just go. And I turned to her and I said, not with that attitude. And I went back to looking for the frog, and she walked away.
Did you find the frog?
I found the fucking frog.
You know, your and my frog story are kind of two kindred frog tales, if you think about it.
They are kindred
Those same
frog
sides
tales.
of the frog token. Just I was a little baby boy, and you were with your girlfriend. It's the same idea.
I can't believe both your frog stories took place in aquariums. You guys know there's frogs like outside.
Yeah, I've been peed on by many frogs.
Yeah, me too. I
peed
catch
on
them
so
frogs
many
all
frogs,
the time.
man.
You've peed on so many frogs.
My frog story is I used to have a Pac-Man frog, and they're cute.
Oh, I do love Pac-Man frogs. A frog actually broke into the hospital that I was at, working at on my last assignment.
You can't use all your frog stories in this episode.
Yeah. I rescued the frog. I picked him up and took him outside.
Guys, we are getting a pet frog in this episode or I'll die.
You shouldn't have asked if we're frogs.
My whenever I played D&D and I was a wizard, find familiars like stupid OP in pretty much every edition.
That it is.
And I would always instead get a toad, so it was useless for all of the normal reasons and piss off the rest of my party. So I'd be like, don't worry guys, I find familiar, and then I'd pull out a toad with its like 5-foot movement speed, no dark vision, and be like, let's go. This week on BuzzFeed Presents Apocalypse, I think it's my turn, and I've realized we're missing a very key aspect. Or in more optimistic move, there's a whole range of BuzzFeed type things that we've been missing this entire time. So my question this week is...
I'm excited.
Which Friends character are you?
Are we deciding for ourselves or for each other?
I think we should decide for each other. I know exactly. I didn't even have to think. I just had to Google to make sure I'm getting the name right because I haven't watched a whole lot of Friends, which is a shocker, but I was more of a Seinfeld guy, hence my Seinfeld anime shirt.
Nice.
Oh, you have a shirt with racists on it.
It does. Unfortunately, yes.
Coward. I'm wearing an Oops All Apocalypses shirt because that's all I wear now.
Okay, since I came up with mine so quick and I didn't even have to think about it, book is Ross.
Yeah.
Book is
that's
100%
accurate.
Ross. Didn't even have to think about it.
I think that's fair. I'm stuck on Ocean between Joey and Phoebe.
Oh, that is tough.
Right, Phoebe is the weird friend who seems like she fell out of the ceiling and just landed in there and has no backstory whatsoever.
She has an evil twin.
Yeah, and she has she grew up in the streets, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Phoebe, I think Phoebe would make a
Yeah, she looks at the bright side of everything still.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
Yeah, I think Ocean's Phoebe.
I think Ocean would make a great Phoebe. I think that's a great choice.
So is Stu deciding for himself then?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do now? Because you guys changed the
Or
rules.
do we decide for Stu?
No, Stu's got to answer. So Stu, you have to decide for us. What are we?
I think Brady is definitely a bit of a trying not to say Ross. How can I frame it? He's a Rossi.
I feel like you could call me a Monica because they're basically the same person, just siblings.
I do think actually that is a great point. I think you are a Monica.
I think that fits. I can see it.
Yeah, you like to cook, right?
Yeah, sure. I don't know anything about these people except I do love dinosaurs and I know Ross is a paleontologist.
He's a big dinosaur fan, just like Book and just like Brady.
Yeah.
Jacob's a little harder.
I'm an enigma of a man.
Yeah, I think
It's real tough cracking my exterior.
the boring easy answer would be Phoebe too, just like his character, and just try to stick with it. But then that'd be me insulting how well he plays Ocean by saying he just plays
I'm
an old character.
I'm just an enigmatic individual.
I think he's actually a secret. It's not obvious, but I think he's a secret Joey.
Ooh, so I'm dumb as a brick. Ooh, I like it.
I was also gonna say Secret Joey
Secret Joey.
because Joey's an actor and you went to film school. There you
I did
go.
go to film school briefly.
I think Stu is Rachel.
I'll take Rachel all day.
Yeah, you are Rachel, I would say.
Yeah, I do take some amount of issue with the Rossness of myself because he totally cheated on Rachel and I would never fucking do that.
That's true. You have much higher integrity, like a good Monica.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
See, I didn't know that part of Friends lore.
Well, Jacob, I didn't want to get into a big argument here, but they were technically on a break.
Okay. I've heard that meme.
Do we have any books, notes of book takes?
I haven't read anything
Ooh,
in years.
I've been reading a lot.
I'm reading every Warhammer book. Does that
It's kind of
count?
post-apocalyptic.
Books, no good book takes. Don't read every Warhammer book.
I've been reading the Witcher series.
Is The Witcher post-apocalyptic?
Not post-apocalyptic, except kind of post-apocalyptic, because the appearance of magic and all the different races and monsters happened after the conjunction of the spheres, which is kind of an apocalypse. And then the whole series is about like Ciri, who is the descendant of Falca, who is going to bring about the end of the world, supposedly.
Well, how'd she end up in my phone?
I don't understand.
Shut the fuck up, Ciri.
That was so well
talking
timed.
about you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Siri.
God damn it.
And now let's get back to last time. You guys finally delved into the Baffles, the stomping grounds of the Boxcar Children. Your old enemies that you're now kind of friends with, one of them who's still alive.
Indirectly.
Yeah. And he brought you back. Crash you, a reformed Boxcar Children, led you through the winding tunnels of the Gauntlet to reach the Baffles, where you were greeted by a man with a long white beard and ridiculous outfit that you guys came up with yourself, who put his hands on your shoulder and said, "You look just like your father." But just to give you guys some more context before you have to answer immediately. So you guys are in like pretty big cavern. There's lights all over the place. You see many Boxcar Children. It looks like there's some like rudimentary markets set up. There's like lines of people waiting for stuff. From here, you can't really tell exactly what's going on. You guys can play around in a second. But the most interesting thing is you see a lot, like dozens of tunnels going in and out of this big central area in all sorts of weird angles. Like most of them, you could probably bring a car out, but there are some that kind of have like rope ladders leading up and kind of honeycombing out in a bunch of different directions. Besides that, it's just a bunch bunch of like, it looks like mostly temporary buildings, like tents, poor housing, nothing that's actually like a real structure from the before times that you can see here.
Cool. I want to nudge Crash you, and I'm like, hey, so you said we're not supposed between. Okay, just hot Josh and hot Goss. Run those by me one more time.
Yeah, you don't want to mix them up is the really important. Hey, how's it going, Papa Woody?
Yeah, no.
Crash you. Hold on.
Which one do we want to talk to?
Hold on,
Hot Josh or Hot Goss? You said one of them.
Hot Goss.
We do want to talk to Hot Goss. Okay, and Papa Woody.
And yeah, they're kind of, we have like a bicameral legislator kind of thing with those two being in charge, but they like never agree on anything. That's why, like, that's part of the whole chaos thing, is it's impossible to get them to agree on anything.
Right.
So they're not exactly friends, but they're technically in charge. But
Do we need to out chaos them to assert our dominance?
you can try whatever you want.
I pull out the megaphone that I brought with me. He's like not far from me, right?
His hands are on your shoulders
Yeah,
still.
perfect. So I lift up the megaphone. It is in his face, and I say,
Hello, Papa Woody. We seek the defense factory.
His hair blows back from the air pressure as this megaphone blasts him in the face, but he just keeps this like warm little smile and half closed eyes looking right at you. And he just kind of shakes his head and lets go. He goes, and who else is here? Oh, you look a little familiar. And he looks at Ocean deeply.
God, not again.
Hi.
He ignores you entirely and looks over at Crash you. And it's the one formerly known as Crash, the stealer of the unripe banana, the slayer of Razagul.
Sorry, Crash, did you slay the Razagul?
Yeah, of course. You didn't know
I didn't
that?
realize that you had such like intense like lore.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of cool stuff.
What is a Razagul?
Oh, it's horrific. It's like a giant toad. It's like horned. Its tongue, though, isn't like a normal tongue. Do you know what teeth are?
Yes.
That's like that.
The whole tongue?
Yep.
That's
All of it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Where are our manners? Papa Woody, book. You seem to already know me. I don't know you. I stick my hand out.
It is I, Papa Woody, and I'm really glad that you've made it here. May I ask what brought you in your father's footsteps?
See, I feel like that is a question that kind of answers itself.
Oh, you're trying to find your dad?
Yeah, basically.
Well, bad news for you. He's not here anymore.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, okay. Whoa, I'm glad I'm not the bearer of bad news in this case.
Nah, we actually have reason to believe he might. We know that he got. Hey, so back up for a second.
He takes 2 steps back.
How do you know my dad?
And then he says, your family came here in the great underwater dirigible and caused quite a ruckus.
Do you still have that dirigible?
Parts of it.
Fun. Okay, so my mom and dad were both together at the time?
Yep.
All right, well.
The first time. And then your mom came back by herself.
Yeah, they got separated. Did my dad come through after that?
That's a more complicated question. I'm going to go and say no.
Wait, what makes that complicated?
There was some discussion that maybe he was seen around the old Gauntlet area, but never found him.
Huh. Okay, so maybe he cut through and was never seen?
You said old Gauntlet. Is there another location that the Gauntlet was previously?
Nope, that was a term of endearment.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. Like you old such and such.
Papa Woody, do you have somewhere we could like kind of sit and chat?
Yeah, let's have some tea. And he slowly turns around and walks at an annoyingly slow pace to like a small yurt that's off to the side. And as you sit down, a bunch of people just like kind of run in and out, leaving all of the components to tea, but just like one at a time in the wrong order. So like someone comes out and like brings some sugar, and then someone else brings a handful of hot tea that they drop somewhere else on the table. And then there's like a teacup and then a tea kettle. But eventually, when it's all done, you have a wet table and a bunch of tea accoutrement.
All right, well, I slurp some of the tea off of the table. Is it like a wood top table or is it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I slurp some of that off the table. Is it good?
No,
I didn't expect it to be.
absolutely not.
To not be rude, I do swallow it, but then I also like try to wipe my lips on my sleeve surreptitiously.
He kind of grimaces and he goes, ugh, you should not drink that.
Sorry, what? I thought we were having tea.
Yeah, we had the tea. I didn't know you wanted to drink tea.
Oh no.
You
Okay.
got to be much more clear with what
Poisoned?
you say.
Am I poisoned?
Probably not.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. So Papa Woody, basically we know bits and pieces about the journey that my parents took. We know that that journey brought them here, and we know that somehow, at least part of that group, the three of them, or at least we suspect that they are now way, way, way above us. And we would like to find them if possible. We know that nearby is a factory of some kind or a facility of some kind with technology that will help us do that. And we were hoping that based on your previous experience interacting with my parents, you'd be able to help us find that.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Your parents did come here and they were of great interest. They kind of shook things up a lot. And your mom ended up, I don't want to say stealing, but she took something that was very important to us in a religious sense.
In a religious sense.
Yeah. It was this like robotic armor suit of some sort.
You wouldn't happen to have a second one of those, would you?
There's 2 more.
Oh, 2 more, you say?
Yeah, there used to be 3. They would stand guard. And now we're only down to 2.
Do they work?
What do you mean by work?
You said they stand guard. Do they do anything, or do they literally just stand?
They pretty much just stand, but we have... Our customs are hard to explain to you, but there's a very important part of growing up here where you throw rocks at them, and sometimes they will melt you with a laser.
Oh, okay.
It's incredible that your society, your culture has populated this area so quickly, considering how fraught your childhood sounds to be.
Well, that's the end of childhood. If you don't get melted by the laser, you're an adult.
Ah, it's like a rite of passage. That's cool.
Yes.
So you said Book's mom got it to work. What do you mean by that?
She took one. She damn got it and somehow got through the laser matrix, was able to get inside of it, and zooped away.
Huh.
I have a question for you.
Yes?
Could we take a look at them?
No, that's a difficult answer. I would love for you to be able to see him. I'd love for you to get a chance to throw a rock at him. Become one of us. But it's not exactly in my purview to grant you that audience. That's a little bit more of a hot goss type thing.
Well,
It's in their domain. The boxcar women, they kind of run that whole factory. And you look around and it's like 90% men, it looks like.
let me ask you this. The kids know where it is, right? That's how they throw the rocks at it?
Yes. Oh, no, I know where it is.
I guess what
I just can't bring you there.
What I'm saying is, what if you told us where it was and didn't bring us there?
Oh, yeah, I can do that all day.
All right, cool. Where is it?
Okay, yeah, you see that big tunnel in the back there? In the back left corner?
Sure.
Yeah, you go down that one, and it's going to be a big downslope. To the left, it's going to kind of ramp up for a while. You ignore that one. That one brings you to the transfer. If you keep going down to the bottom, you're going to see this huge factory. It's very massive. You cannot miss it. There's going to be signs pointing all around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in there. It's not in like the main front area, but once you get to the back hangar, you'll be able to see where these things are.
Is that the only way to get to it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do any of those tunnels, like...
Oh yeah, I'm sure some of these tunnels kind of loop around, but I can't explain those. Those are super fucking complicated.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. When my mom took off with the robot suit, how did she leave? Like, by what mechanism?
Well, there are many tales on how she left. Some say she dug straight through the earth. Some say she became one of the other robots. But I think what really happened is she kind of flew up somewhere.
Flew up.
Crazy. Okay.
I think she went back to where the dirigible was, which was near the transfer.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where she had everything set up.
Well, do you think you can tell us where her base of operations was while she was here?
I can show you that. Follow me.
Cool.
Unless you have other questions that need to be had over tea.
No, we can start walking, but while we walk, I also heard a rumor that there were like elevators here.
Yeah, they don't work. Don't worry. A lot of people get scared when they hear about elevators, but they can't hurt you anymore.
Could you show us those?
Yeah, fucking your luck, dude. Same place.
That is fucking my luck.
Sounds like it's exactly what she was trying to get.
As you guys are walking, I'm going to be mean and say, Ocean, give me a read a 6 roll.
Oh,
Papa Woody is more engrossed in the conversation with Book, and he's kind of distracting you a little bit. Not intentionally, maybe.
read a situation. Okay, that's a 7.
Ask me one question.
What should I be on the lookout for?
This is a place of general danger pretty much everywhere. None of these people with your interactions with the Boxcar Children are particularly stable in their interactions on a day-to-day basis.
Makes sense.
So you see a lot of things that remind you of that quality of these people, even though like Crashy's been pretty chill with you lately and Papa Woody seems to not be in immediate danger. But like you cross by there's like a hut with a big line of people who look injured at it. And there's one man with a giant meat cleaver. And he just looks at the wound and he half the time is like chopping their arm off and then throwing it into a big pile of boiling water behind them. And then just like smashing their stump against like a super hot bowl just to like cauterize that wound. And then other people, he looks at it and you like put a band-aid on it and let him go past. And with your medical training, you do not think he is making the right call most of the time.
Ugh.
Like you see someone who's like surely needs to have their arm removed and he just like gives them some Neosporin. And then someone who has like a small graze of like a bullet that hit their tricep, he's like cuts off their forearm.
Yeesh.
You notice that your arrival here has definitely been observed by people. You don't notice anyone particular nefarious, but you're definitely drawing the attention of people as you walk through.
Okay, but nobody that seems like they're particularly nobody nefarious is what you're saying.
No one you can see with a 7. Yeah.
That's always the key word. Nobody I can see with a
No one you can
7.
see with the one question you asked. Yeah.
Does it look like anyone else recognizes Book from his days of handing out pamphlets at their rallies?
Give me a read a person roll. That's a good one.
Ooh, okay.
5 and a 6.
That's an 11 plus,
3.
so that's a 14.
Hell yeah. That's about as good as you can get. So I'm going to definitely give you good information no matter what, but ask me 3 of those questions.
Cool.
And this doesn't have to be a specific person here. This can just be for the kind of people around you.
Okay. Best question to ask is like, what are they feeling? What are they thinking of doing? And how could I get Papa Woody to let us take one of the robots?
Okay. Deep questions you hear. So as you're walking further, you do hear some little whispers of like pamphlet around. And you see some people looking suspiciously at you. There's some high suspicion, but you do notice one person, a woman with a side ponytail. Her eyes kind of narrow at you. And then she like skulks back into the darkness.
Do I recognize her?
No, she definitely doesn't look like anyone you've seen
Could
around.
be Hot Goss or Hot Josh.
Okay. Now I'm gonna milk that for a little more. What does it look like her intent is?
She was looking at you very suspiciously and went to go deal with it, probably through telling other people you're there.
Okay.
But this does not look like one of the people who you knew from your previous work. So this seems like something different than your pamphlet anger.
Oh, interesting.
So to get Papa Woody to be able to let you take a robot, it seems like he doesn't necessarily have the power to do that, right? But if you put him in a position where he would have the power to do that, he would be very likely to help you out more, right? But you do also know that these are chaos cultists. So non-traditional methods may work as well. You think to kind of see what path you would need to go down to get Papa Woody to help you out with that, you would need to learn more about the like power structure here and why he's not allowed to let you into that area and stuff like that. Because it seems like he's in charge, but he's clearly not.
I think I'm gonna grab my megaphone again because I want to get ahead of whatever that lady was about to do. Is she still in my line of sight?
She skulked into the shadows, but unless she immediately started sprinting, then she's definitely in megaphone shot still.
Okay. So into the megaphone, I say, is it like nighttime? Like, they're not sleeping. We were watching the medicine guy do weird hacky hack shit. So into the megaphone, I say,
Hello, Boxcar Children. My name is Book Page McCready.
my middle name is Paige now. But the spelling like the female person's name, it's embarrassing. That's why you haven't heard it before.
What a lore drop.
I come in peace. However, if you bring violence, violence will be brought unto you.
And I use stern presence on that lady.
Give me your hard roll.
I rolled an 8 minus 1 is a 7.
Choose your choice.
I'm going to say almost all of these people have intentionally told lies, betrayed trust, or sown confusion because it's a chaos cult. So I'm going to go with if anyone here needs my help, they need to hold my eyes.
You see your statement in the megaphone definitely kind of like ripples out from you. And it does seem like people kind of stop what they're doing and focus on you for a second. And you do kind of feel like there's this respect from what you said out there, from what you just threw out in this like vulnerable position where you're like super way outnumbered, and people are just kind of like nodding their heads. Some are like shrugging, some are pretending it's not a big deal. But you do see there's this one super burly dude who is stitching together some sort of hide. It looks like maybe lizard hide. He looks over the top of it and his eyes do lock into yours.
Hell yeah. Okay. I make a mental note that lizard dude needs my help, and maybe we can do a little trade of in exchange for my help, he can help us.
Oh.
So you continue down, unless you guys are changing your course, through this back tunnel in the back left corner of this massive cavern, where it suddenly gets very dark as the lights of the big open area fade behind you. And eventually it starts sloping downward pretty harshly, which slows Papa Woody to an even slower pace. But then there is an opening to the left that kind of ramps back up, and he starts hobbling up that way. Eventually you see many, many small lights that seem to be extending all the way up pretty much as high as you can see. It almost looks like a runway if you knew what that was, but vertically against the wall. And as you get closer and it comes into focus, you see there are these massive steel doors just built right into the side of this cavern. And all along the bottom of them is just like at least like knee-high water that flows out into the side of this huge cavern. And I think before Crashy maybe mentioned that this was basically bottomless area here, but you see these massive doors, and Papa Woody leads you up to, it looks like there's like a Coleman tent that is still in pretty good shape. This is where your parents stayed.
I go into the tent.
It smells of cave. You see 2.5 sleeping rolls laid out. You see some kind of torn pages from a notebook that as you turn them over, it looks like you do recognize your mom's handwriting, but it looks like stuff that she was working on and crossed out and then kind of threw away. Give me a read these notes roll.
12.
12. Okay, you get to choose 2. You can make a connection that your parents previously made. Ask the MC a truth about the world that your parents had previously learned. And you can make a connection that your parents did not make. Tell the MC a truth about the world that you've identified yourself. So to frame this, you come into this tent. As you start digging through this, you see kind of this scattered paper. You see these, it looks like most of their personal items have been personal. Most of their personal effects have been taken, and that just kind of what's left behind is what they didn't view as tremendously important. But you do find 3 very important things. Sorry. Two of them are the same type of object. One, you find a Ethernet cable, like the end of it, that was dug in and put in through the corner of the tent. It's not connected to anything. But as you look throughout the tent, it seems to run all the way up towards those big doors in that direction, which you can't see super well because it's dark right now. Then digging through at the very bottom, you feel something on your big clunky boots at the bottom of these sleeping rolls. And as you turn them inside out, you find 2 tapes.
Ooh, 2 tapes.
2 tapes.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Ocean, can you come in here?
Yeah, what you got?
Can you do an ocean sense on this wire?
An ocean sense.
It's my favorite Sobe flavor.
It's not called that, book. It's they speak to me, not an ocean sense.
Can you speak to the wire for me?
Shh. Let me see if it's talking. And he puts his hand on it and thing speaks it.
Okay, give me that weird roll.
Oh, an actually good roll on things speak for once. That's a 12.
Reveal your secrets.
Okay. So, since you want me to analyze this, I'll let you kind of decide what you think would be the best use of it. So I have who handled this last before me, which I think is a pretty easy guess. Who made this, which I don't think is super useful. What strong emotions have been most recently nearby this, which I think is a good choice. What words have been said most recently nearby this, which is also a very solid choice. What is done most recently with this or to this, which is and what's wrong with this and how might I fix it? What you thinking? I think definitely what words and strong emotions are the 2 that I think we should definitely go for.
I definitely also want to know what was done most recently with it.
Oh, okay.
So my preference is like maybe the words that were spoken what was done most recently with it, and then maybe how to fix it. But we don't, like you said, we don't know if it's broken.
I won't be too mean. I won't tell you something that's just like, well, it's not broken.
Yeah, but also if we don't use that, maybe it already works and we could get more information by getting the emotions.
How would we test it real quick? Just looking at it. How do you think we can test if it's working?
Lick it.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I like it. What happens?
You lick it?
Yeah.
It shocks you. I was going to give Ocean all his memories back.
Oh, you bastard. You bastard.
I held it up to Ocean's mouth. Lick it.
No, I'm not licking that. It just electrocuted you.
If it shocks me, does that mean it's working, Stu, or does that mean it's not working?
This is future Ethernet that can provide power over Ethernet. So it's actually working.
Sick. Okay, so then we'll do emotions, words, and what was done most recently with it.
Yes, those three. I concur.
Okay, all three of those are most recent, right? Just so I make sure I don't give you too much information.
It's just two random boxcar children having sex in the tent.
I would be so mad.
Choke me with this. Choke me with this.
I'd be so angry. Wasting
my God.
Best thing speak roll.
So you grasp this Ethernet cable with your oceany hands and you use your ocean sense. The first thing you feel as you touch it, you do feel that there is just information and technology connected to this cable, and you feel that coursing through you. But then you are immediately overwhelmed with this piercing, strong emotion of just despair and acceptance. Ooh. And then this kind of static fills your brain, just like when you open your mind to the psychic maelstrom, and that static starts taking on voices. And as you look around this tent, you can almost picture Book's mom and his little sister, and you hear his sister's voice saying, when's daddy gonna be here? He's got to come back. He has to. We can't leave before daddy gets here. And his mom's just kind of like pacing around. You hear footsteps and you hear like heavy breathing. And he's gonna meet us up on the surface. He let me know that we're gonna be there. And you hear Novella be like, what about brother? Your dad's gonna get him, and we're gonna all be up there, but we have to go. We have to go now. Right after those words end, you feel almost like a snap of static, like this cable was disconnected from something that was providing information to you. And you know that it was hooked into something that was letting her access whatever's on the other side of the cable.
Okay.
It's an Ethernet cable, right?
Yes.
With power. Hey, Papa Woody, can you come in here?
I already am.
Now there's 3 people in a 2-person tent.
It's a little tight.
Hey, do you know what that door does?
That door leads to the transfer.
Are those the elevators?
Yeah, those are the massive elevators that bring you all the way to the surface.
Okay. As Book, I'd like to do some detecting. I want to inspect these doors. Like, were they opened in the last 3 years? The big doors?
Oh, no, the doors have never been opened in my lifetime or my parents' lifetime or even their parents' lifetime. I actually don't know if that's true. I can only confirm they've not been opened in my lifetime. I'm pretty much the oldest person here.
I want to look at the doors. Like, does that look accurate? Like, is there any like fresh scraping along where they would have moved or anything like that?
So these doors are like massive, like 40 yards wide and 100 yards tall.
Do they swing out or do they slide in?
It looks like they probably have to slide. They're built directly into the stone, and you can't imagine them swinging out.
Okay.
That would be bonkers ridiculous, but you don't know. They look like giant hydraulically locked doors that are bigger than anything else you've ever seen.
Okay. And I don't see any wear along the top that would indicate like them sliding along.
Can't see the top. 100 yards tall.
Oh my God. Okay. What about along the bottom that I can definitely see?
So are you going up and checking them out like closer?
Yeah. I want to inspect the doors.
Yes. You go in, you walk through this kind of muddy, wet ground that leads up to it. Like I mentioned, there's this giant pool of water to one side of it, but you're able to walk up to the actual doors and you see this Ethernet cable has been kind of along your side this entire way, and it hooks up to a little workstation right to the side of the door that looks like there's a terminal that does work. It looks like an old shitty 70s terminal, even though this takes place in the future, with a nice green flashing cursor on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
But the bottom of the door, there's this is like some wet wet ground and you don't see any markings in it, which in some ways, like, yeah, it definitely didn't move. But also, if there's ever like water flowing through here, that could fuck up any tracks in the past.
Okay. In the big pool of water, I want to shine my flashlight into it and see if there's anything like under the surface.
As you turn on your flashlight, it immediately looks like there's these two large eyes just staring back. But as the image focuses in, you see this is what it looks like, the front of a blimp almost. Not a huge blimp. And I don't know if you know what a blimp is, but like a CRV sized dirigible, but it's actually a submarine because this is in the water. But you see there's a huge gash along the back of it. And this is just kind of some floating material that looks like it's been anchored. The anchor is still attached to this front part, pulling it down towards the bottom.
There's a gash. Does the gash look like it was made by like it scraping against something, or was it like attacked?
It looks like teeth.
That's fucking spooky as shit.
Yeah, but like really
I don't
big
like
teeth.
that at all.
Hey, Ocean.
Yeah, what you got for me?
I hate to ask this of you. I want to look at this terminal and see if we can get any information about. Can you read now?
No, I still can't read.
If he licked that fucking Ethernet cable, he could.
I want to look at this terminal. Could you dive down there and see if there's anything worth bringing back up?
Yeah.
I just like, if there is, like, we'll go get the spider and we'll I just want to see if there's interesting stuff down there.
Yeah, I can do that.
And while Ocean does that, I want to investigate the terminal.
Ocean looks for like a rope or something he can like tie around his waist and like anchor up top first. And how deep does it look?
Can't see the bottom.
But to reach the dirigible.
Oh, not too far. Yeah, it's probably, he was able to see it with his flashlight, so probably only a few feet.
Okay. Is there a long tube in here? Like a big long tube he can put in his mouth and run up to the top like a like a hose or something?
What do you got?
Got a fire hose or some.
I don't think you can breathe through a fire hose.
No, probably not.
What, is there anything Papa Woody would have on him that would work for what you're trying to do?
Is his staff hollow?
Is it like a PVC pipe?
No, his staff is made of wood, but it is a wooden bong. Which, as you start looking to see if it's hollow, you notice. You don't know if you could breathe through it.
Ocean looks at the wooden bong and looks at Papa Woody and just shakes his head and says, "I'll take my chances," and jumps into the water.
Okay. In the foreground, we see Book clicking away on this terminal. In the background, we see Ocean diving into the water. In the terminal, give me read a sitch roll.
Not a very good roll, a 3 and a 1, but that is a 7 still.
And then Ocean, give me an act under fire roll.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Pretty cool these days though, so I'm not too worried. Not a good roll though. Fuck. That's a 5.
5 total?
5 total. That was a 1 and a 2 on the die.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Okay.
It begins again.
The camera's sitting there like right in front of Book as he's clicking away, and you see the like green light reflected off him. And in the background, we see Ocean, who does like a perfect swan dive into the water. And then we see your head come up and you kind of shake your head and you get your rope and you like tie it to the dirigible. And as you come back to go anchor it to the front, we see something reach up and grab your leg and pull you back under.
Oh God.
But you make like no sound. It's like completely silent. And Book, you're clicking away on the terminal. Ask me one question.
Oh no. I sent you down there to die, and I'm sorry.
Oh God. I still have some grenades though, so I think I'm okay.
I'm debating between like, I'll just ask, what's my best way in to the transfer?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. I think that was a good one. Ocean, give me a do battle.
Do battle. I'm good at do battle. Okay. Yeah. Ocean's really good at do battle. That's a 10. Yeah. Additional harm. I'm going with additional harm.
Book, you're clicking away at this terminal. You see this is a control panel for these doors, basically. And right now you're able to click through some screens and you see that it gives you like a full side view schematic of this transfer. And it is this unfathomably large series of tiers that water just fills up one at a time, and it sections off another area and then fills up back again. And you realize the only thing that could like fill up this much water is like the whole last ocean, right? Like nothing else could do this. You realize the power or the pump required to push the water out to let people back down would be insane. Like more impressive than any technological marvel that you know about currently. But it looks like that's how it worked at some point. Right now that you're getting a bunch of error readings on the surface and on the interior transfer mechanism. but there is a button that says it will open the door.
So are you saying that this door, there might just be an ocean's worth of water behind it?
There could be. Since you rolled medium good and you asked a good question, there is a kind of diagnostics button that may give you more information that it says run diagnostics.
Yeah, let's smash that diagnostics button.
You hit that and there's this incredibly loud whirring sound and the whole door kind of vibrates a little bit. You see the hydraulics kind of like engage and disengage. It doesn't open up, but it's making all these really loud noises right when a grenade goes off underwater, so you can't hear it.
There's some bubbles pop up at the surface.
There's this massive explosion as a bunch of bubbles come up, and then Ocean, you crawl back. Give me an act under fire roll.
Okay, that's a better one. That's a 7.
A bunch of flashing lights come on around the whole circumference of this door, and this like air raid siren goes off like as it's running these diagnostics. As Ocean, you get this big gasp of breath and turn around and you see this strange creature that looks mostly like a lobster, has the big old lobster eyes, got a bunch of claws, more than a lobster should number of claws. But the weird thing is like right where its thorax is are like 3 full ass shark heads.
What the fuck?
They're just chomping at you. And it's crawling up onto the edge with you to try to bite into you. And it just barely misses with its middle mouth right on the side.
Ocean crawls up a little bit and like lifts his head over the surface and looks over at Book and says, "Hey Book, I'll be right back." And he pulls his knife out of his boot and jumps back into the water.
Okay, give me a 2 battle roll.
Oh, it's a 12.
Okay, do you want to do additional harm again?
Always. Screw defending myself.
You're underwater for a while now, and there's just crunching and flailing, and eventually you pull yourself up. You've taken 4 harm from the 2 attacks it did to you total. It was 3 harm twice. That was reduced by 1.
Okay.
So 4 harm total. So you are torn to shit up.
Does he not get his gang bonus?
Oh yeah, you are a gang. So yeah,
one less
it's actually
harm.
down to 1 each.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, good, because that had me at 5 out of 6.
and there's just a small pile of shark teeth around you as you crawl up to the surface. But Book, you haven't really been able to hear that even when he said, "Just give me a second," as the door finishes its diagnostics and it gives out a reading that it tried to pump out the water, but it could not reach the surface station. Surface station is currently inaccessible, so it did not complete the pump activities.
Okay, so we think it's full of water right now.
It's probably full of water right now.
Enough water to fill the entire ocean on the surface?
Wait a second. What do you mean by that?
Didn't you say it would take a whole ocean to fill this thing?
No, the only thing that is a large enough source of water for it is an ocean.
I see.
Yes.
Is there evidence that the water that we're seeing around the doors is leaking from the doors?
Try to track down the source of it, and it looks like there's a lot of moisture coming from the rocks around. There's not like a leak sprung necessarily, but it definitely seems like liquid is seeping through the sediment layer into this room.
Okay. I have 2 questions. One is the button to open the door still like available, or is it like grayed out because it's full of water?
You can try to hit it.
Is the button grayed out or not?
After the diagnostics, there's an angry exclamation point next to it. You think it probably wouldn't do anything if you click it.
Okay.
And you also think a Boxcar Children would have certainly tried to click it by now.
Yeah, we would be fucked. I think it would have just flooded the entirety of Scopolis.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe that's how the stew formed. Is like maybe the doors were opened, all the water poured out, and that's why there's a giant ocean under with weird creatures in it. So if all the water's already leaked out, maybe there's no danger to opening the door. I also want to know, is there like an airlock system through the tunnel? So like if I open it, the whole ocean isn't going to drain underground.
Yes, there was safety redundancy built into here.
I hit the open button.
It goes and doesn't open.
Does it put anything on screen to say why it's not opening?
Yeah, it says the same error you saw before, that surface pump not reachable.
Okay.
Unsafe to open.
Is there an override? Is there like a little exclamation point button where you expand it and it's like where like when you hit a website and Google's like, this is unsafe, and you're like, proceed anyway?
And you're like, fuck you, I'm unsafe
Exactly.
too. That's unsafe as my middle name. I don't need certificates. No, there is not, but you think there's probably something built into the system that would let you do that. Like there's got to be some like maintenance override of some sort, but not through the normal control shit here.
Okay. In the schematic that I saw, is Are there any like maintenance hatches that I noticed? And corollary question, is this whole thing like, is it just a giant steel wall? Is it like it's behind? I guess what I'm asking is, would we be able to drill in with Ocean's mining equipment potentially?
I would say potentially you could drill in. I'm going to give you a really good answer to the first thing you asked, but first, potentially you could drill in, but while it's filled with water, that would be a bad idea / a impossible climb, right? Like you have to be getting through all that water the whole time. And with these airlocks, you'd be getting through another big metal thing and then more water and then another big metal thing and more water for however deep you are, which you've done that. For maintenance systems, you go through a few other screens, you figure out how to get into that area. It was definitely more difficult. There are some door access maintenance tunnels on the side that look like they have just normal like padlock type things based on the fact that there's no button to unlock them from here. You think they're probably just physically locked. You get a very cool 70s green wireframe view of them going up alongside each side of the door to maybe do some like regular maintenance type things. But more interesting, you see a maintenance access tunnel that is going from the very roof of this room, like probably 20 yards in front of the door, like on the outside of the door where you're at, extending way upward with crazy twists and turns and all these sorts of shits, going up all the way parallel with the transfer.
Okay. And I can see that maintenance hatch now.
You shine your good light on it and you see that hatch, and that hatch is blown the fuck up.
Okay. Ocean. Wait, Ocean, are you okay? You look like shit.
Is Ocean just crawling? Has the beast been defeated at this point?
Yes, the beast is defeated, and you have a giant bag of shit from inside the dirigible, and you got a pretty good look at it. While you're down there, I'm not going to make you do a thing speak on it. It could not be easily repaired, but the underlying like mechanics of it didn't look fucked up. Like it looked like if there was like a pump to provide oxygen, that's probably still there. If there's something for the controls, those are still like hooked up. It's just mostly the structure of it got smooshed.
Okay, gotcha.
Could not easily fix it, but potentially could either use it for parts or fix it over a long period of time.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Ocean's just climbing up ever so slowly, and he pushes this bag of stuff that he got over, shoves it over, and then just like rolls on his back and says, "Got your stuff for you, book. I'm gonna take a nap here."
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I found some stuff too, and I think I've figured some things out.
Yeah, what you got for me?
Papa Woody told us that there were 3 mech suits, and now there's still 2. That means that my mom got 1, and that means that my dad didn't. We also know that they only took 1 of the power cores. So the only way for my dad to get up to the surface is through there. And I point up at the ceiling. Stu, when you said it's blowed up, is it like it was blown open, or it's like destroyed?
Like destroyed.
Is it still like accessible? Do I see any signs that someone maybe threw a grappling hook up there and clambered up or anything?
It is way too high to be able to do that. It's as high up as this door. So 100 yards.
Okay.
It's a football field in the air in this middle of this cavern.
So I couldn't really see if he had gotten up there.
It's a person-sized hole in the middle of the cavern.
All right.
100 yards in the air.
Ocean, I think we're gonna need the spider.
Okay, I can get it for you.
What did Ocean get out of the car?
A giant bag that as you unzip it, you see there's a bunch of stuff in Ziploc baggies. You see there are a lot of DVDs in these Ziploc baggies of some of your sister's and dad's favorite movies. There's a bunch of drawings that your sister made that are kept in these little Ziploc bags. And you see a bunch of them do have your whole family, including you, even though your scale is super wrong. Like she thinks you're the same size as her, which is ridiculous. And you do see a bunch of handwritten notes that are kind of going through their journey that they went on. That it's not directly addressed to you, but you kind of feel like they were meant for you.
Sweet and sad and sweet.
This is good. What do the notes say?
So they're written by mostly your parents were the ones who are most of them. A couple of them are written by your sister, which are much less technical and detailed as they go along. But it does walk through the sequence of events that they kind of followed since they left. And I think you guys pretty much know all of that. But just to recap it super quickly, they left and headed for the stew when they heard that there was a individual who was alive before the apocalypse to try to figure out more information on it. Throughout this, they were also very focused on trying to figure out a way to outsmart the AI. Like they still cared about Hamlet opening being safe. That ends up dropping off the later and later these letters go. When they talk to the old man, they figure out that he didn't have much useful information for how the world existed before the end of it, before the apocalypse came and ruined this nice underground utopia. But he did have some useful maps that aligned with a lot of the things that they currently had and answered some questions that they were trying to get to. They found this massive defense factory that was in the Baffles, and they found some things that they thought could potentially be useful for reaching the surface. They have a few different ideas. They found some like very extensive explosives, mining equipment, mining lasers, which are super cool. But they also found these flight suits that they thought would potentially be useful if they could find a single access to the surface, which they thought about the moon crack that was in your cave as a potential way to get all the way to the surface.
Question.
Yes.
The maintenance hatch that's destroyed.
Yes.
Does it look big enough for one of those mech suits to fit into?
Just barely.
Do the notes indicate that they were planning on using the mech suit to climb their way through the maintenance tunnels?
As you flip more towards the end of all of these laborious notes, you see that they thought it would be possible to navigate through these tunnels, but it's really tight fit through a lot of it. You saw this maintenance hatch, and a lot of it is meant for someone who's moving by hand on like a ladder, like very sharp turns and things like that, that in order to get the flight suits to be able to navigate that, your mom was planning on programming some sort of flight navigation system that used some pretty advanced algorithms to be able to navigate through there successfully. There's nothing written on if they actually finished that.
Okay. But they were planning to use that tunnel thing.
Yep.
Oh boy. They're planning on flying through it?
That was the
That's
plan.
insane. I thought they were going to like program it to like climb up.
If you found a climbing robot, that would work.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's many
Miles. Yeah.
up.
This is going to be fun. But we also know that they made it. We just don't know if my dad did.
Ocean kind of puts his hand on Book's shoulder and says, "Hey, I guess your mom and your sister are safe."
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully both of them made it. We also have 2 tapes to watch, but we also have 2 robots to inspect. Are the robots big enough for multiple people to stand in?
You don't know because the page was torn in half. It didn't have all the schematics on it.
Okay.
Your parents traced that page, which actually I guess would still be in one of these Ziploc baggies. So you find that. Yeah, you find their trace of the robot, and it is barely larger than human size. It is 6'8" tall.
It's like an Iron Man suit, not like a mecha suit kind of thing.
Yeah, so how were the 3 of them planning on getting into it?
I assume they were probably going to take 2 and then hold their daughter up out.
They took 3 power cores originally,
Oh,
but
right.
Ocean took 2 of them away from them.
I forgot about that. They did take 3 power cores, which means how would mom have gotten? Hey, cow tools?
Yeah.
I fucking knew it.
A snorkel pops up from the dangerous waters. He's like, I was just cutting through from the
Ocean
stew.
looks over like, "Wait, you were down there the whole time? Did you not see me getting my ass kicked? And you didn't help?
Yeah, he was beating your ass. Oh, I can't help with something like
Could have
that.
distracted it or done something. Look at my arm. It's like a mangled mess."
I was rooting for you though. Yeah, what do you need?
I don't know. I just had an inkling that you were around.
Hey, do you have any DVD players or tape players?
Yeah.
Right, it was a tape, right? Like a VCR kind of tape?
Yeah, you guys have one too though.
Yeah, but not with us right now, though, right?
You left it?
I don't think
That's
we have.
silly. It's handheld.
Oh, is it
Logan
really?
definitely has it in his coat, but doesn't say anything.
Oh,
I'll rent you this one for 2 9-volt batteries.
Actually, cow tools, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
You're really good at squirming and climbing.
Affirmative.
Do you think you'd be able to get up to that hatch? I point up there on the ceiling.
Do you have like a bunch of balloons?
Okay. Let me ask you another question. You remember how your people helped us fix up the spider and make it kind of waterproof? That dirigible that you swam past to get up here?
Yes.
Do you think it's something they could, repair?
Clever Hans could definitely get that working again. It'd probably take a while.
I'm just trying to figure some things out. All right. I have one more favor to ask you.
Yes.
Do you think you could go an ocean if you're not cool with this? Just let me know. Do you think you could go get the Spider Force and drive it drive it up here?
His eyes light up.
Ocean looks a little concerned. Looks at Spider. He looks at Cow Tools and says, "Have you driven a car before?
Yeah.
Can you drive a Can you drive a manual?
Yeah.
Well, here, let me lay a couple things down on you real quick. So I've got 4 pedals, right?
Yeah, of course.
A couple of those don't accelerate or brake or the clutch. One of them activates the pitons, so don't step on that one.
Okay, don't step on that one.
And here, yeah, unless you want to climb here, and he kind of like lays down the controls of the spider with that little. And don't mess with my tape deck. It's taped on there, literally tape deck taped on, because I don't have any audio equipment in there. Because I mean, look at the thing, and don't mess with it.
I promise.
It's precariously positioned.
Okay, I promise I will treat it like my own child.
He grabs Cow Tools. Please, it's my baby.
Book is very pleased with himself.
Okay, I'm gonna go get that because my voice is a little too similar to Crashy's, so we can't be in the same room.
Okay. And Fake Suvius?
Yes.
All right.
You want me to go with him?
Yeah, why don't you maybe you should keep an eye on it.
Yes. Ocean grabs Fake Suze, picks him up one of the RC cars. You can drive it. You saved us with it. I know you're safe
I will
with
tell
it.
him exactly what to do.
Keep it safe.
I will keep it safe. You know I love that
This is
thing.
the most important mission I've ever put you on.
And Fake Suvius, you also got through the course. What is it called?
The gauntlet.
Yeah, help him through the gauntlet.
Yeah, I know how to avoid the snakes.
Perfect. Last things last first. I want to watch these videos, but I also want to be respectful of Papa Woody's time. Wait, is this the same tunnel that he pointed to for how to get to Hot Goss's area?
Yep, if you go back to that downsloping part and now turn left, it would be down at the bottom.
Okay. All right, Papa Woody, I think we've got things under control here. I don't know if you want to stick around or not, but I don't want to take up any more of your time.
No, I think you know where to find me when you need me. Just whisper on that wind
That we do.
for Papa Woody.
While we wait for the spider, I'd like to watch the 2 videos.
The first one, you got lucky and it's chronological.
Hell yeah.
The first one, you pop in and it is your entire family is all in frame and they're all waving and they go in. And your dad leans in and he goes, "We found it. We found a way to get to the surface. We just got to trick those boxcar children into letting us borrow some of their kind of ancient statue gods and go up through this maintenance tunnel. It's going to be easy peasy. I think before we try to convince them, we need to try to get some power for it. So we have found the most likely place that would be able to power them based on some of the documentation that they have. There used to be these neutrino power cores. They're very popular in the defense industry. And we found a station for them. It's in something a lot of people are calling the Moonwell. I think we're going to head straight there with our dirigible and then figure out a way as we're going along to kind of sneak away with all these robots. But we finally have a way. We have a way to do it. So next video you see will be
I paused the video. You know what I just realized, Ocean?
Yeah, what you got?
They took 3 power cores for 3 robots. They were never planning on me joining them.
No. They were planning on bringing you
I
to...
can't fucking believe these fucking people. I don't even know why I'm
They
still
were
looking for
planning
them.
on getting you.
God, no, they don't fucking... no, I am...
Maybe here, maybe they thought they could just carry Novella out because she's so small and tiny and was a little baby, and you had the third one, right?
Or
Because if it could fly, they could just hold her
maybe
and fly
if
up to
they
the surface.
thought that, they would have just brought me with them.
Or maybe they just wanted to make sure the surface was safe before they got their precious son.
When I see these...
Maybe they wanted to go up there, but they had to bring Novella because they were concerned about her
when I see
dying.
them,
So she had to get up there, but they didn't want to
there
risk
will
it.
be
She had no other choice.
a reckoning. I press play on the video.
The only thing we're going to have to determine is who gets which suit. And me and your wife, wow, I'm so excited I can't speak. Me and your mother have a bit of a wager on which one we think you'd choose. And I am very confident you'll choose Andrew Ill, but your mom thinks you're going to want Excalibur. Lame, not even a real sword. So we're really excited to hear your answer to that one.
All right, so I take
See you
that
soon,
back. Where are they putting the little babe?
She gives him a
They're just
knowing
gonna
look.
carry the little babe.
You think that would make some sense? You think it's too big for her to drive
Yeah.
on. You also do think it would be incredibly dangerous to fly through these just holding her.
They must have made a little capsule. All right. Well, I feel a little better. How about you? You feel better, Ocean? I look at his mangled arm.
Well, I mean, it'd feel a lot better if you could,
Yeah, but I can't. So
I can Kara heal my arm, but you can't.
you can't heal yourself? Seems like a bit of a weak.
Can I heal myself? Actually, have I healed myself before?
You can't heal yourself.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I can't heal myself is what we've done.
Well,
You can't touch yourself to heal yourself because Jesus is watching.
You heard it from the man.
Our cool friend Jesus would never allow that.
or cool.
No, never.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know why I can't, but it just doesn't work when I try.
All right. I play the second video.
The second one is much less happy. There's the camera starts like at an angle and you see your mom like covered in sweat. I know you're going to be able to track this down, Book. I know you can do it. I know you're old. You're like 18 now, pretty much. But we have to get to the surface. I don't know why your dad didn't come. Last I saw your dad, he was with these people who they wear these scary outfits with these large eyes. I know this may be a lot for you to take in, and it's but you need to know it. They're in these scary outfits, large eyes. I don't know where they would take him, but you have to get to the surface. If you can't find your dad, you have to get to the surface. To get through the tunnels, you're going to need some way of calculating the trajectories crazy fast. I don't know where that exists besides there's this crazy AI that runs the power system. If you can figure out a way to get that, maybe you could, if Randy Candy's been making mine any better, maybe that'll work. But you need something to be able to run these calculations to get through this. Take one of the suits I left you. I left you Andril or Excalibur. They're both there. Whichever one you want, but please come. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Oops, All Apocalypses. In the episode description, you can check out our link tree for all sorts of different things. Or if you got a question or comment, you can email it to us at oops@stu.cool. The music and editing was performed by Stu Masterson, and Brady McDonough made that art and logo, and Jacob doesn't quite understand how mirrors work. Love you, bye.
I did. Why is it called Pac-Man frog? Just because it's a big
Because he
circle?
looks like Pac-Man.
Yeah, it looks like Pac.
Look
It
at
looks
him.
just like Pac-Man. What a dumb question.
I mean, it looks like a fat frog.
It looks like Pac-Man. What are you talking about?
They're like 90% mouth.
That is true. That is fair. I'll give you that.